Got this. Yeah, I just got this. So we have the sniffer here, right? So, like, this thing's pretty sensitive. Doesn't really, like, nothing there, right? But, if I farted, because fart's also a hydrocarbon, watch. Just when I enter the cabin, it starts going off. How about down here? Oh yeah, see? Don't have to go too far. See if I can turn on the fan. Oh yeah, there you go. Knew I smelled it. Yeah. So the entire cabin in here, you can smell it. It just goes off. All right, guys, I got a 2015 Honda Odyssey, and of course, another AC complaint. So I already checked the system; it's completely empty. But I get a face full of. I did charge it, and I left it overnight, and it went completely empty again. So it's got a pretty big leak. Also failed the vacuum leak test. But in the car right now, if you ever know what R134 smells like, you'll find it very what do you call it? Can't find a word to say. It's still early in the morning, but yeah, you'll know what the smell smells like. But I have it off right now, so it's probably leaking inside the vent right now. I'm gonna turn on the thing, and you're gonna see a puff of smoke. Well, okay, maybe not, but it did it the first time I started up. But yeah, I got a face full of a puff of smoke out of the vents when I turned it on, and you can smell that refrigerant, and yeah, it's very easily recognizable, I would say. So we're gonna be doing a evaporator on this thing, see what the customer, if they want to do it or not. Yeah, also it has dye in it right now, so the AC's charged, but also probably take you down and take a look at the drain hose. All right, so I'm just in here to see if I can see anything, but not much space to see. But if you were to do this evaporator, Honda and its infinite wisdom made it so you can take out the evaporator without removing the dash. And how they did that is, you see those dotted lines right there? You can cut that, right? And there's the bolts that, when you reinstall it, right, you can put those bolts back so you can get your glove box back in. So I guess it's a one-time thing. You cut those, let me see if I can get a picture. You cut this dotted line here, right? This whole thing comes out. You can get this lower box out and then access the evaporator back there. So hopefully we'll see if I can get the job. There's like a 90-degree elbow that goes from the firewall into the evaporator. So I don't see any kind of dye maybe down there, but I can definitely smell the refrigerant, because I know what I'm used to smelling refrigerant, and I know what it smells like, and definitely it's coming out of the dash. So yeah, I'll maybe check the drain hose. I have it running right now. Hopefully I can see some dye coming out, and yeah, so hopefully I'll get the job. Trying to get this air box out, or the blower box out, and then access the evaporator back there. So yeah, stay tuned. Here, I just want to show you this, right? I don't know if you can see it, but you can see this AC is leaking. You can see the smoke coming out of the drain tube, and that's yeah. I bet you when I start and turn on the fan, it's going to come out of the vents when I turn the blower on. But you can see it's definitely there's refrigerant leaking out there. If I get the sniffer, watch, it's going to go off. All right, so bringing back the sniffer, let this thing go. So we're underneath the car now, and yeah, I'm just bringing back the sniffer. Yeah, right, so it's on medium, or I can put it on low. It'll probably go off on low too, lowest setting. And Let me get the light. You can kind of still see the smoke. And there you go. And it's going off. You can still see the smoke, I think. That smoke is just the refrigerant turning into a gas. And your gas, or the refrigerant, is a hydrocarbon. So there's your AC leak. All right, guys. So we confirmed where our leak is. And by the way, this thing does also have rear AC. The lines run underneath the car and then into the back. I inspected those already and checked the back. I just show you guys the important stuff, right? And but yeah, so I'm recovering what's in it, since we know where our leak is, just to, you don't want to let that stuff go to waste. And I got to put some of this trim stuff back and yeah, put my stuff back together. So the job, the customer did approve it, right? So we're gonna be doing this evaporator. Not today, but parts are coming in Tuesday, I think it says. So I'll bring you back when it's Tuesday, which is probably mere seconds for you guys. And yeah, so also somebody in the comments was saying, doesn't dealerships use OEM parts? Yeah, and we also use aftermarket parts, but the aftermarket parts that we use also come with warranty from the company that we're getting it from. So yeah, as long as it's not like, an unknown brand or an unknown company, some cheap Chinese one that, fake stuff, that, once you get it, and it's like there's no warranty on it, and it fails, weeks later. But we do get aftermarket parts that we know that are good, and has a warranty back behind it in case something happens. So yeah, especially when you get old cars nowadays and we can't get OEM parts. Yeah, what are you gonna do, right? You have no choice but to use aftermarket. It's not like we're gonna turn down customers away because we can't get OEM parts and stuff like that. But anyways, so I'll see you guys next week, and when I do this evaporator. All right, guys, it's actually next week now, so that was quick. So it's yeah, the parts came in. We got the evaporator core. Also, there's an elbow back there, so I got that just in case if I needed it, because I can't see anything there. So I think, like I said, you're supposed to cut this part because there's a dotted, I guess you can call it a dotted line. Once you cut that, there's also the bolt holds into the bracket. The bracket only sticks out to like this much. There's no metal bracket back here, right? So this thing can go back. You would think that this part of the glove box come out, but no, this is part of the plastic dash, the frame of the plastic dash that mounts to this rebar back here. And yeah, that doesn't come out. So that's the reason why Honda made it, so you can cut this, right, and still bolt it back in to remove this blower box, right? Once you remove this blower box, you can get at the evaporator core back there that you can't really see. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead, start removing stuff, and see how it goes. All right, now that I've removed this piece, right, it just bolts back onto this when you're done. But now I think just taking a look around, I got to disconnect some harnesses. There's one back there that runs around back. It looks like a couple bolts. There's one bolt like right there, right? There's one up in that corner over there that's holding that box. I don't know if you can see it, but I can reach it. The other one is just like over here. I'm not sure if I can get at it, but there's one on that top corner. There's one over here, and then there's one on that bottom one over there. And yeah, hopefully it just I'm able to slide it out forward, drop it down, and then come out to the front here, and I can remove this blower box. And once that's out of the way, then I can start removing that part. And then the evaporator is further in there behind the dash. So yeah, let's see how far I get, and see if I run into any kind of problems, I guess. All right, guys, bringing you back, and I'm pretty close. I've only taken off like maybe 4 or 5 bolts, and it's already loose, right? I think the hard one is the one in there that goes all the way to the back. And then there's also one hiding right here, right there. And then I think this should be able to come out. Then I probably have to take this this module out so I can get it to, clear this part of the airbox, and I should be able to get it out, hopefully. So yeah, right now I feel like it's not too bad. All right, so yeah, I hit a snag. I think the difficult part here now is trying to get this whole this whole box unit to fit through this hole, but I think it could work because I just gotta get into a correct angle for this whole unit to come out. Yeah, I got some space here, but it's this part up there that's you know, kind of holding me up, and then this corner here, right? I just gotta find some way to maneuver it to get it out. So that's where I'm at right now. All right, guys. After like 15 minutes of struggling, I found the best position to get this thing out. But I had to take this 8mm out, so it has a little bit of give, right? And all it did was to clear this. What is this? Recirculating door motor, right? Yeah, it wouldn't clear this these little arms, right? Especially this side. Might have scratched up a little bit, but it's not too bad. You can take a look, right? But got it out. Now I think what we got to do is remove this part of the cover, right? And then I think I have to remove all those Phillips screws around around that box, and I think our prize is just in there. There's an elbow right here because it makes a 90-degree turn from the other side. But yeah, see how that goes. It says there's a bunch of screws around it. This part comes off with this thing. I have to disconnect the blower motor resistor and see how I get that thing out. All right, let's see if there's a screw in there. Can I see it with the camera? Can't tell. It's kind of tight, but I can't get it with my camera to see in there. If I can focus. It's just spider webs. I think is that it at the back there? Let me see if I can focus my camera to see if there's a screw back there. No, I don't think there is a screw. Nope, there is a screw back there, just behind the spider webs. Okay, there's one back there, and then I think there's one in that long hole up there too. Which, yeah, I think I see one in there. And then I think there's one on the top, up there as well. In that tube thing. So there's a screw up there, and then the rest of those other screws that I gotta remove. So once this thing is removed, I think I can see the I think I can see a wet spot right there on that evaporator core. Well, we'll see when we get to it. Right, so to be able to get that box in there out, I have to disconnect this bolt. And that's I think that's what holding the expansion valve in there. So let me show you. So I'm just about to get this box out, but I'm struggling to get it out because I think it slides onto the expansion valve here, and I can't get it out. So I have to unbolt it. I thought about keeping it on so I can, you know, maybe fill it or something to see where the leak is while it's still in here, or I don't know, see what I'm gonna do. I just want to see where that leak is actually coming from once I have it out, or you know, something like that. Right, so after a bit of struggling, I got this box out, and the thing is, why this thing is so hard to get at or slide out is because this thing hooks, like you see this this part, right? It slides in, but then you have to clear this part on the back side of this to be able to slide it out. So I think what they wanted you to do is remove this expansion valve. Oh, try to focus. The expansion valve, right? And there's two bolts there, and the thing with this thing is it's because it has rear AC, and the line don't give you much give to move the AC line underneath the hood. Let me show you. So because this thing has rear AC, right, I can't move this line far enough to see those Allen heads, because there's this line down here. Let's see if we can point at it. This one down there, right there, right? It's a steel line that goes down, so I don't got much movement in this thing to access that expansion valve. You see that little Allen right there, recessed into the expansion valve. That's what I was supposed to get out. So yeah, that was the tough part. So now that I got the cover off, right, I can slide out that evaporator core. Hopefully it comes out easy and it clears everything. I might have to get the Allen to remove that elbow, these two Allens on this side, so I'm gonna grab an Allen and then slide this thing out. Now that I got that expansion valve and elbow out of the way, I can slide this thing out now. See where our leak is. Is it on the evaporator core, or was it the expansion valve? Or whatever I just took out. How about the back side? Can't see. Let me see if I can find it. I'll take it apart and let me see if I can find it. So, brought it over to the bench. I see a little oil in this corner of this cover. So how I took it out was, this is on top, this is on the bottom, right? Facing the passenger side. So if you can see, take this cover off. There's oil on that corner. You can see right there. So I think my leak is somewhere in this corner. Let's see if I can see it. So I'm gonna get some soapy water. I'll put some air through here and then maybe plug up one side and then see if I can get some bubbles out of this area. See where if I can see any kind of leaks. The only thing I can see is like in that corner, there's a little dye there. Anything down there? There's some dye down there. You can see, right? Like at the right in that corner there. See? I think that's just a piece of styrofoam. That little hole in the back there is just like the drain tube. So yeah, that's all I see. A little bit there, and then a little bit on the styrofoam down on the bottom there. You can see a bunch there. So yeah, I tried pressurizing the evaporator, but I can't get any bubbles to come out of it. Probably still filled with oil or something, because there is that too. And I didn't get the gaskets for these guys. There's these weird little, they're not O-ring, but those are gaskets that recess into the what do you call that? That fitting, I guess, that goes into the expansion valve. That's those things are coming tomorrow morning, I guess. So right now I'm just gonna slide the new evaporator in, and then wait for the gaskets. All right, guys. So I finally got these gaskets. Right, they're just these weird crush washers that go right up into there, and then it just seals right against the back of this expansion valve. So the next thing is see how I'm gonna struggle to get this box back in. I have to clear this. I think I'm gonna have to leave this plastic part in this side, right? Because it's not gonna be able to go through from the other side. So hopefully I can slip the box over this expansion valve when I put everything back together. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, so this is the hard part. There's not much give here for this thing to slip over, right? So I just got to get it past this part over the expansion valve on this side, but there's barely any movement to get this thing to go over it. And I don't know, some of you might say, okay, just cut this thing, right? But I'm not gonna cut it. I'm gonna try and actually slip it over. Probably yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get this thing over. I might have to maybe flex it a little bit, but there's not much give here or on this expansion valve. It's pretty solid to be able to try to slip it in. So I'm thinking, what if I take the whole thing out and then slide the evaporator core in with this thing? Because if you look at shop manual, all it says is remove this thing, and yeah, and then installation is reverse order. They don't say anything about how to put it back in. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna at least try to get it in without, you know, cutting anything, because, you know, I want to put it back the way it is. But I think I don't think I can slide the evaporator core without this thing hitting, because there's a hump over here. So I don't know, see how I get it out or get it back in. So I've been struggling. I just kind of got it in halfway, right? I kind of slipped over, but that's as much as I can go right now. And I'm trying to work it back and forth. Gotta be able to get it past that expansion valve, right? But yeah, I'm just slowly working at it. So can't really slip it in. I can reach around the expansion valve because it has a little, I think there's a little hump over there or something. Trying to get past it, but there's no give. I can't really move it, and then there's this hump over here that can't allow me to push it in far enough to get more space. So yeah, I'm pretty sweaty right now. My face stuck underneath this dash. Okay, so I've been having a lot of trouble trying to get it into those two little I guess what they recess into the expansion valve. It's tough to locate those two little holes, I guess. So I had to take this one off, right, and then also this thing off. I couldn't take that, right? That was pretty tight. The bottom's pretty tight, and these lines are pretty soft. So I left those on and I was able to get it in. Now, since I had to take these lines off, I gotta replace these O-rings now. This one and this one. So I'm just, before I put everything back together, I am doing a vacuum leak test, right? Making sure there's no leaks before I put everything back together. Originally it did fail the vacuum leak test. So hopefully there's no leaks and I can put everything back together. So it's done vacuuming. Now it's doing its 10-minute leak test. I don't know, the glare. Yeah, leak testing now. Hopefully that needle doesn't move. Just over 5 minutes and still the needle has not moved yet. Yeah, so I'm just in the process of putting all this stuff back together and then reconnecting all the connectors, stuff like that, right? Put the computer or modules back in over there and then try to fit that blower box back in, and yeah. Oh yeah, vacuum leak test passed, and then it still hasn't moved. So I'm gonna put the dash back in and finally finish this job. So the next time you'll see me is with everything in. Alright guys, so I'm pretty much done. I put everything back together. Also passed the vacuum leak test. Yeah, no more funny smell coming out of dash anymore. Oh yeah, and I also have to change the or adjust the clock because I had the battery disconnected while I was doing this job, because I had to disconnect some modules back there. So yeah, so I hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.